So today we're talking about failure. Alright. See, when I put together my little missions, my campaign, I have a storyline based out on my campaign, but I keep in mind like little tangents along each path because you can't tell what these guys are going to do. So I plan for failure. Like if it's the entire party, in the back of my mind, it's alright, we're going to start a new word around town. Based out of the town or whatever, they can start up and do their thing in search of these fallen heroes, maybe bring them back as a reward. And that'll be like a low level thing, but then they still have to go through all the tough stuff that's there. That's one little contingency plan. I try to come up with contingency plans, but when my guys, they I have one guy, he's just a little nuts. He just wants to get in there and just run, and he wants to do his thing and be the hero. So I make things a little twisted, but at the same time across the table I do kind of throw hints. But if they're persistent about doing a certain task, I will allow that and let them deal with the consequences. I won't scale my adventures too hard, but they're at the level where it's like, all right, I know your success rate is here, so I'll step it up here for some encounters and drop them down to here at others, so they'll breeze through these. Like, I kind of know their playing style, so I know how to set up things. But at times you do have those epic one rolls where it's like, all right, dude, sorry, but the orc just whammed you in the head with his little club, and you got knocked the fuck out. Pardon my language, but then that leaves the other guys to handle with the situation. I try to keep things to the point where they're not gonna all die. Like my guys right now on this campaign that we're running, they're all 4th, 5th level, so we're still starting afresh. We don't play as often as I would like to. Like I have my campaign scales up to about level 10, 11. But with the failures, when they come, they come. It's do or die in this fantasy world. Like in real life, what's gonna happen if you're climbing that rope, right? Or you're climbing that ladder and it's slippery, you slip. You failed your slip or your climb check. You're gonna fall. You're gonna sustain some damage. Same thing in the fantasy world. If you're climbing that vine and it's slippery and there's like orc blood and like gelatinous cube like gel just slipping and sliding, it's going to make things a little difficult. Now if you can't compensate on the rolls, you're going to fail. You're going to slip and slide, but I'll give you a chance to reflex. Now it's up to them to reflex and save themselves, but alright, that's 2 shots you had at it. And now I know with 4th edition they have this thing tumble. I don't, oh no, is that 3rd as well? I think 3rd, but I've browsed videos and I saw something about tumbling or rolling or something. Even on that, that's another save, so that's 3 strikes. If you strike 3 times, I'm sorry, you're gonna take the damage. As a DM, as GM, it's your responsibility to regulate the game. Yeah, I let some things slide when I know the heat of the battle and I have a creature that's an AC of 17, let's say, and my guys are going and going and going, and we're in this encounter for a good 10, 15, 20 minutes, and they're rolling 14s and they're rolling 14s or 12s, even with the attack bonuses and everything else, and they're getting a few good hits in, but this thing is just slowly chipping away at my entire team. In my head I know it's a 17 AC, but if I see a guy throw a 16, depending on the situation, by the rules, yeah, that's a fail. You're not going to hit through this guy's armor. But I know the team's they're trying their damnedest to get through, and it's just bad luck on the rolls. I might let a 16 slide, just so they can get a hit, maybe even, maybe even get a chance to run away based on the way. All right, your hits, and then such and such falls to the ground. He's prone right now. What do you guys want to do? Some will take advantage of, all right, let's beat this guy up before he gets back to his feet. So that's 3-4 chances they have to take advantage of those little combat bonuses, the +2 for him being prone, and he gets the -2 to his AC. So that brings him down to 15. Because I let that one little thing slide. I want to keep the game interesting. I don't want to kill my guys off, but I want to present enough of a challenge for them to think twice before, oh yeah, there's a big red dragon. I'm a level 1. Alright, you want to be an idiot and run into the fucking firefight. Again, part of my speech, but yeah, this is going to be rated R. You want to run into a firefight with a big red dragon, like a huge red dragon, and you're level 1, and you've got like your little dagger and your little wooden shield. You want to be stupid, go ahead. But trust, I will let you die. But if you're like that level 10 guy and you're trying your best and the dragon's cone of fire is coming around, but you're smart enough to duck cover, maybe you can finagle something, maybe something will fall in the background and let the dragon be distracted for a second, let you run. That's my job. Just to add that twist. But if you know you're outclassed by this certain beast and you're insistent on dealing with the problem instead of running to fight another day, which could be my plan, and you still want to go ahead, and you're going to fail. Now, like I said earlier, I have a contingency plan. Like I always think in the back of my mind, I'm going to have my guys, if anybody dies, create a new character. Maybe that same person, mind you, okay, you're a 5th level, and you get knocked off. Now you got to start back as a level 1. But when these guys get back to town, you're looking to work with somebody to apprentice under. You got to work your way back up the ranks. They're going to advance differently, but at the same time, now it's a restart. Maybe you can find your old guy, get all your old equipment back. It's a contingency plan for everything, but when your PCs die, or when there's a major failure that causes and inflicts like major damage, or even if it's like, alright, I can't climb. I didn't design the dungeon for that to be the only way, and if I did, use your noggin. Because you're a player out here, and you're a player in that world. In real life, you're never going to succeed at everything. So to keep the game as realistic as possible, you can't succeed at everything. So I try to be lenient, I let things slide, but at the end of the day, like I said earlier, if you roll that 1 and everybody sees it, because we're that much into it, sorry. There's been times where I've seen like a 13 rolled, and then I've engaged in conversation across the table dealing with something else, and the person picked their dice up. And we'll continue the conversation back and forth about how we're going to deal with this. I saw that 13. I know it needs to be a 15. I'll let it slide if I know they're trying their damnedest, or if I just want them to get through this encounter just to keep them going. But then other times you gotta let the game play out. Like I know this video's running long, I'm sorry. I had them fighting some wizard or sorceress, and she had like some kind of charm spell, and she actually charmed my wizard, like one of my players, and he was under her control, and I was playing her as well as my own character, but I would command him, and he had to participate. He failed his save, like the roll for saves. He didn't have the will and fortitude. He couldn't do it. So for about 10 rounds, my PCs who weren't under control were running. 2 of them split off, and they went to try to fight her. She was like in the distance, and one of them was actually dodging him while he was making moves and taking advantage of attacks of opportunity. Every time he got close, it was like, get back, and he would run. and one of my players actually dropped or put his weapon away and was actually taking swings, like just punching him, trying to like deal subdual damage. You know what I mean? Instead of killing his own friend, because he knew, and it was like our little idea, like let's get this girl, let's kill her, try to break the spell so we don't kill our own guy off. That was an issue that I brought up, but he failed his roles. He had to deal with his consequences, and we as players had to deal with him being like charmed. So we had to deal with, okay, we're not going to kill our friend off. We need him, but at the same time, we need to defend ourselves. That's a prime example of failing. You know, sometimes you have to live with the consequences. Other times, I mean, you have to be lenient. So as a DM, GM, and players, you gotta understand in life, alright, you're late for work. Your boss lets it slide. But he doesn't let it slide all the time. Eventually, you're gonna lose your job. In the game world, you can take a swing, you're gonna hit the goblins all the time, but there's gonna be that one point where it's like, damn, I rolled a 4 plus my attack bonus of 5 or 6, and I still can't hit this goblin, and you're down 2 HP, and then somebody comes out of nowhere, flanks you. Now they both have advantage, and they both take a swing at you. You're gonna, even if I throw a reflex roll in, cause I know some people play different. I play with, like, you have an opportunity to have a reflex throw on enemy attacks. If you get hit, you get hit. And there's nothing I can do. I can't make that goblin disappear. I can't make your failure disappear. It's a game of challenge, and in the end, I mean, you gotta deal with it. You gotta fail. If you succeed, then you succeed. But if you fail, I can only be lenient so much. Alright, I got a phone call. This is the end of the video. Thanks for watching, guys, and yeah, that's all I have to say.